cleanse the lepers and raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. That's powerful. To your neighbor, don't forget what you have received. And it says, provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses, nor script for your journey, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves. For the workman is worthy of his meat. Into whatsoever city or town he shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and thereby till you go thence. And when you come into the house, salute it. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it not be worthy, let your peace return to you. And it says, and whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when you depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. May the Lord have a blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of this most holy word. You may be seated in the presence of God. How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody good? Yes. I'm blessed too. God is amazing. I'm going to talk a little bit about kingdom versus culture. Kingdom versus culture. And you need to understand as a body that what's really going on with church today, and I want every leader, especially my leaders, to hear this, so we collectively don't become frustrated by what we see. People are bringing their cultures into the kingdom.
Amen.
I want you to let that rest for me. Maybe you're doing the same thing. You need to understand what culture is. It is your behavioral traits. It's your ethics, things that you grew up in, things that maybe you were cultured in or developed in, even as a young child, even until now. If you really did like going to church as a kid, you really probably don't like coming down. And the walls said amen. There are certain things about our culture that have become somewhat of a distraction for us to advance kingdom. And let me share this with you. I was sitting at my favorite restaurant this morning. I tell you, God has been blessing me these last few days. My wife took me to Peeps. And I walked into the Peeps early in the morning after ministering, and I saw all these people in the Peeps. And all of them, mostly all of them, had their Colts and Texans jerseys on. And they were just alive early in the morning. And here I am, here me and my wife coming in with a suit and a dress. I kind of felt out of place. But then I realized this is our culture. People are just trying to find some type of excitement and make it a part of their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I got to share something with you. It was never intended for culture to replace the kingdom. Then I'm going to attempt to really show you an angle of something. Here Jesus tells his disciples as he sends them out. And this blessed me real good because Jesus didn't say, put on your best garments, make sure you have your clergy collars on, put on your best gator sandals. Jesus told them, don't take anything with you. He said, matter of fact, the only thing that I need you to do is pronounce my word and let the lost sheep of Israel. Here's the problem I believe that we're running into. It seems like the only people we want to talk to is church people. The only people we want to have influence over matter is, I've gotten a revelation that we are not here to entertain each other. I love you with the love of God, and I love you as the sheep of God, and I love you as being your pastor, but you have to understand something. We're not winning if we're just settling in culture.
Amen.
Jesus sent them away. He says, I got to share something with you. When you go, let them know that the kingdom of God is at hand. Let them know that I am soon to return. And not only that, but when you go, show what you are. You shouldn't feel so comfortable in the house that's full of evil and they don't feel the God in you. Or you should never go to a hospital and say that I'm a minister, but you never prayed for anybody. You should never go to a conference just to flag your title, but there's no demonstration of God in your life. You know what the reality of it is? The world needs to see something besides your suit. They need to see something besides our wigs and our perms and our nails and our tools. They need to see Jesus. Walk with me here. Jesus says, when you go, I want you to heal the sick. I want you to cleanse the lepers. I want you to raise the dead. Because you're not just going for showmanship. You're going to demonstrate my power, because the kingdom is power. Now let me go back to this just for a second. Jesus interrupted Jewish culture because he wanted them to know that there are times where we have to adjust to cultures that are being presented in front of us. It's not a compromise, but we must adjust ourselves. You know what blessed me? This young man came up here with a song that he wrote, a song of the Lord, out of his heart. And many of us, because of our culture of not knowing something, we can only respond to something that we know. But see, real maturity and real in-depthness is that you'll respond to anything that is God. It looks different, Pastor. You know, sometimes you come in with t-shirts and jeans. Now you got on a suit today. Well, I had a preach earlier today. And I want to make sure I have a suit on. Because I was going to a different house. And I don't want to change clothes. And I can still preach the word of God in a suit or a t-shirt. Lose the culture and let's find the kingdom. Let me give you a prime example. Y'all know Brother Peter, right? Y'all know Peter. Thug like Peter. Y'all know Peter, don't you? Later became, let's not remember his past. Let's remember that he was a bishop of the large church and that he was instrumental in speaking the word of God. So let's look at Peter. But Peter had a complex that I want to deal with because he fell into a hungry state. And the Bible says that he fell into a trance. And when he fell into a trance, he saw a picture of a pig. When he saw the picture of the pig, he woke up out of that trance and said, what is going on? We don't eat pig in our culture. We don't do that. That is not a Jewish custom. That is not a Jewish law. That is not our culture. That thing is unclean. And then God interrupts Peter and tells him, who are you to call what I have made unclean? Everything that I have made is good. And if you want to change what I have done, then you just rest in your culture. I'm trying to you kingdom. Kingdom in this age is going to look black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Korean. It doesn't make a difference. Because what I'm understanding is the reason why some people can't find God is because they see too much of our culture. And then we want to make our culture religious, or make it a religion, or make it law, until Jesus says unto the Pharisees, it is amazing how you know the law, but you don't know the signs of the time. It is amazing how you know the scriptures that Moses had penned, but you don't even know that I am God wrapped up in flesh right in front of you. Because they were not looking for kingdom, they were settling in their culture. You know, believe it or not, we all have a culture. Some of you have a culture with time. I cannot listen past 1 hour. After an hour, I have been instructed, I have been very learned to give you my attention for 1 hour. After an hour, I shut down and start thinking about tomorrow, my work day. That's your culture. Your culture may be very loose. You don't have much discipline. Everything is just loose. Whatever it's time to do, you just do it. You just wander. But you don't have a sense of time or direction. That can be your culture. You can have a culture, people of God, that every time Sunday's over, you used to Sunday dinners. Everything is spread out. And you will catch an attitude if somebody don't cook. That's your culture. You can have a culture, believe it or not, of being religious. Only remembering what is lawful and look the part. But you know what? I'm tired of looking the part. If I'm not going to be the part, why should I look the part? Looks can be deceiving. Jesus had to tell his men to focus on the kingdom. I know this may sound different to you. I believe it's because God is trying to make the adjustment in our lives so we can do that which pleases him. Luke 9. Luke 9:58. You can have a culture of excuses. You can have a culture that's prioritized by your life first and then God comes second. I want to show you something. Luke chapter number 9, verse number 58. And some of you may have torn this page out of your Bible, but it don't make a difference if you tore it out, it's still God's law. And Jesus said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. And he said unto another, follow me. That was what Jesus said. He said, follow me. But he said, where he was, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. That was culture. He didn't necessarily say anything wrong. But Jesus said unto him, let the dead bury their dead. But go thou and preach what? The kingdom of God. Here we go again. Kingdom versus culture. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but I ain't going to tell you until they would get the butts out of the way. Some of y'all can't handle that. So I'll just say it for you. Get the conjunctions get them out of the way. He says, I would, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. Jesus only asked for them to follow him. Your culture can get in the way of you following me. And I know you may think, well, no, that's not true, because God wants us to care for everything that he's given us. And that's true. I got to share something with you. God didn't give you everything. There are certain things we gave ourselves. There are certain things we entered into. And we want God just to be a part of it. There's nothing wrong with God blessing what you have. But here's the problem of what's happening. There's been a shift in priority. That God is not really first. I know you say it with your mouth. But is he really first in your life? Do you really seek him first before you make a decision? Before you apply for the next job? Before you apply for the next degree? Before you marry that man or that woman? Have you sought who is first in your life? That is the real question. You go out and do something, right? You go out and do something without God's permission, or you just do it because you just feel the unction to do it, or because I just need to make something happen. Let me tell you something about making things happen that God did not authorize. You can make things happen on your own, and I'm going to share something with you. The disaster and the consequence is not what you signed up for. And then we want to come and throw everything back on God. God, here you go. You got me. There's no need to stop lying. There's certain things we just walked into. Because we had no conscience of making him first. And I'm going to share something. I don't care how long you've been saved. I don't care how long you've been in church. The reality of it is that I need to start making God number one in my life. You know, when there is a shift in your mind gate, in your mind space, you will begin to start thinking things that are very off. I don't know about you, but has anybody ever allowed your guard to go down and you have experienced a mental war? I'm not saying that a person is mentally ill. I'm talking about there's been a war in your mind because of the things you entertain. Right? And I know I'm in the box because let me share something with you. What you entertain will come to life. Oh my God. And so now we are entertaining all of this stuff. And you don't realize that it's drawing you away from the presence of God. Culture. What you think is right. What I do, and what my father taught me to do, or what my mother taught me to do, or what my grandmother taught me to do. I'm going to stick to that culture. But listen, people of God, we as Christians have to learn how to adjust. We got to learn how to adjust. You know, to be honest with you, we can reduce service down to 45 minutes. Some of you are very happy. Some of you will be very lost. But because we have to adjust ourselves to the people that are out there, we can't become so comfortable here. If I can only speak 10 minutes to a lost sheep, and I can spend time with them and tell them about the love of God, that still means something in the sight of God. Trying to get us to understand something. God is shaping up the culture and making it a culture of his own.
Amen.
Anniversary time is coming up, and I'm hearing all of the exciting things that are taking place. And what I've realized is that they are making the adjustments for other people to be a part. You always got somebody in the family that don't like new people. I've said in my last 10 years of pastoring, and I know people that just don't like new people. You don't like new people because it's a threat to your culture of getting all the attention. It's just like that newborn baby that was born. You were glad the baby boy was born until he started getting all the attention. And now you're kind of feeling some kind of way because you're not getting all the attention. Let me tell you something. We can't grow if it's all about you.
Amen. Amen.
That's selfish to think that the kingdom is all about you. It's really immature, it's juvenile. To make yourself think that this thing is all about me. Jesus said to them, he said, I want you to go. And I want you to show them my demonstration. Show them what the kingdom looks like. Now, as I close, it's about 1 to 3 of you that understand that God is doing something in the atmosphere and in the heavenly realm because he's trying to pour out his spirit upon all flesh in this hour. And unfortunately, he's not doing it through denomination. He is not doing it through a culture of color. He is doing it in a place where people want to see souls saved and restored and revived back to God.
Yes.
I see something happening. Yes, I see the shaking in the spirit. I see God kicking the dust out of the rug in this ministry. I see it. I'm not blind. I pray for it. But I also realize that just because the dust or the rug is shaking doesn't mean you let go.
That's right. Yeah.
Anybody ever been on a rodeo ride at the fair? My wife told me this last night. She said, I dare you to get on that rodeo. She said, you ride on? I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and laugh, have a good time, but take a camera. When you get on that rodeo, it starts off slow, right? It's called riding the bull. You ever seen that? You know, and you get on that, and that thing gets faster, and it starts bucking, and it starts bucking, and pretty soon, you just jump on a ball. But there are some who have studied the art of holding on. That when things get rough and the love gets going, they learn how to be pliable and switch themselves where they're not going to fall off. And sometimes you fall off standing. Sometimes you fall off and you fell in the dirt or the dust. But the real question, the real idea here that God is trying to say is, will you put kingdom in front of culture? Will you really make me first?
Amen.
Will you really make me first? Not just in your life, but those who are responsible of carrying the gospel. Are you going to make him first? Now I'm going to share something with you. I'm tired of church as usual. Now, we do pretty good because we allow the Spirit of God to have His way. But you can't put that all upon who's up here.
Right. Amen.
The blame game days are over. You know what? You got to come in with something.
Yes.
I realize that. We sit up here, we wait for the praise leader to sing our favorite song. We wait for the preacher to make us excited, give us a word, to make us strong. We wait for that fancy prayer. And you don't give much. But then we want all the blessings. You know what? If we're not careful, the church can turn into addicts. That you wait for someone to stimulate you. You wait for somebody to inject you with something before you can respond. But there's going to come a day, people of God, that you're going to have to know God for yourself. There is a day coming, people of God, that you're going to have to learn how to endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. You're going to have to learn that. Learn that now. Learn it today. There are going to be some days that I just don't feel like being who I am. But let me share something with you. It's not just about who you are. It's about who's in you. Greater is He that is in you than he that's in the world. How are you going to adjust? Every minister, elder, associate, whoever you are, you might as well cut up your license if you ain't going after the lost. What good is it for us to put our names on the wall? Put our pictures on the wall. It's okay for people to remember good things and good people. But the kingdom age is not trying to put the light upon themselves, because we're trying to find the power in the Word of God. How many of you want to see the power of God move consistently in the sanctuary of God? When we go out, God will keep moving and moving and moving. Stand on your feet, look. Thank you, Jesus. You like football? That's cool. Just don't let it replace Jesus. You like to have a good time? That's cool. As long as it's within respect and in reason of God's word, it's good. But don't let it replace the priority of loving Him above all. I'm going to share something with you. The shift has happened because many people don't love God with all their heart, their soul, and their mind. They love with pieces of it. They love it in the convenient times. But with all our heart, our soul, and our mind. I pray that we be consistent in the love of God. That people can always see the love of God in you, and in you. Not just loving who loves you. Not just loving those who you agree with. See, I understand love language now. Is that you got to love despite of the currents and the waves of other people. Trust God. Under the sound of my voice this morning, as the Spirit of God has led me to speak to you, there's a question that Jesus asked, and I'm going to